If you added up all the time you spend sitting in a typical day, meals, watching TV, reading, driving, resting after activity, the total might genuinely surprise you. For a lot of people over 60, that number lands somewhere between 8 and 12 hours a day. And it turns out, what your body does during all that sitting time matters more than most people realize. This isn't going to be a video telling you to feel guilty about resting. Rest is genuinely important, especially as we age. What we're going to look at instead is the difference between restful sitting and prolonged, uninterrupted sitting. Because the research on that distinction is more interesting and more useful than you might expect. Quick note before we start, this is general health information, not medical advice. If you have mobility limitations, joint issues, or a heart condition, please check with your doctor before changing your activity routine. Let's get into it. Why sitting affects the body differently after 60. Prolonged sitting affects everyone, but the consequences tend to show up faster and more noticeably with age for a few overlapping reasons. Muscles that aren't used regularly lose strength more quickly in older adults than in younger ones. This connects to something we've talked about before, a process where muscle becomes less responsive to normal activity signals as we age. Circulation also naturally becomes somewhat less efficient over time, meaning blood has a harder job returning from the legs back to the heart, and prolonged sitting makes that job harder still. And bones, which rely partly on mechanical stress from movement to maintain density, get less of that stimulus when the body is sitting rather than bearing weight through walking or standing. None of this means sitting itself is dangerous. It means prolonged, uninterrupted sitting seems to matter more with age than most people assume. Let's go through 5 specific areas researchers have studied. Effect 1. Muscle and joint stiffness. Sitting for extended periods keeps hip flexors, hamstrings, and lower back muscles in a shortened position for hours at a time. Over time, this can contribute to tightness and reduced range of motion, particularly around the hips, which, not coincidentally, are heavily involved in balance and walking stability. Joints themselves also benefit from regular movement. Joint fluid, which lubricates and nourishes cartilage, circulates through movement, something we've discussed in relation to fall prevention as well. Long periods without movement can leave joints feeling stiffer, especially noticeable when first standing up after sitting for a long stretch. Effect 2. Circulation and blood clot risk. This is one of the better studied areas. Prolonged sitting slows blood flow in the legs, and in some cases this is associated with an increased risk of blood clots forming in the deep veins of the legs, a condition called deep vein thrombosis, or DVT. This risk is well documented in situations like long flights, which is part of why airlines recommend periodic movement during long trips. The same underlying mechanism applies to long stretches of sitting at home, particularly for people with other risk factors like circulation issues or a history of clotting problems. The encouraging part here is that the fix isn't complicated. Even brief movement breaks appear to meaningfully reduce this risk, which we'll get to shortly. Effect 3. Blood sugar and metabolism. Research on prolonged sitting has found measurable effects on blood sugar regulation, even in people who exercise regularly elsewhere in their day. Extended sitting appears to reduce how efficiently muscles take up glucose from the bloodstream, which can contribute to higher blood sugar levels over time. Interestingly, some studies have found that breaking up sitting time with short walking breaks throughout the day had a more positive effect on blood sugar control than a single longer exercise session followed by hours of uninterrupted sitting. This is sometimes summarized by researchers as movement snacks, mattering more than people expect compared to one big block of exercise. Effect 4. Bone density. Bones respond to mechanical loading, meaning weight-bearing activity like standing and walking helps maintain bone density, particularly important given that bone density naturally tends to decline with age, especially after menopause for women. Extended sitting reduces this weight-bearing stimulus. While sitting alone isn't considered a primary driver of bone loss, researchers generally view regular standing and walking as one of several supportive factors for maintaining bone density over time, alongside adequate calcium, vitamin D, and resistance training where appropriate. Effect 5. Balance and fall risk. This connects directly to a topic we've covered before on this channel. Extended sitting means less practice with the ordinary balance challenges involved in standing, walking, and shifting position. Small, constant adjustments your nervous system makes without you noticing. Reduced regular movement is associated with declining balance confidence and coordination over time, which in turn is one of several contributing factors to fall risk that we discussed in detail in an earlier video. So how much sitting is actually too much? Researchers don't point to a single dramatic cutoff, but a commonly cited pattern is this. It's less about total daily sitting time and more about how long any single stretch of uninterrupted sitting lasts. Sitting for 30 to 60 minutes without a break, repeated many times throughout the day, appears to matter more than the same total sitting time broken up frequently. A commonly cited general guideline is trying to break up sitting roughly every 30 to 60 minutes with a few minutes of standing or movement. Not necessarily formal exercise, just a change in position and a bit of activity. Simple ways to break this pattern. None of this requires overhauling your day or starting an intense fitness routine. A few practical approaches that research and clinicians commonly recommend. Standing up during commercial breaks or between episodes if you watch TV regularly. Setting a simple timer or phone reminder every 45 minutes as a cue to stand and walk for a couple of minutes. Doing simple tasks, standing rather than seated where reasonable, folding laundry, talking on the phone, or light stretching. Taking short walks after meals, which as we've discussed in a previous video, also supports digestion and blood sugar regulation. Placing frequently used items slightly out of reach on purpose, a water bottle across the room for example, to naturally build in more standing and walking throughout the day. None of these require special equipment or a gym membership. The goal isn't to eliminate sitting, that's neither realistic nor necessary. It's to interrupt long uninterrupted stretches of it. Final thoughts. Sitting itself isn't the enemy here. Rest and recovery matter, especially as we age. What the research points to is something more specific. Long, uninterrupted stretches of sitting appear to affect circulation, blood sugar, muscle and joint health, bone density, and balance in ways that add up over time, particularly after 60. The good news is that the fix doesn't require dramatic lifestyle changes, just regular small interruptions to long sitting stretches throughout your day. As always, this video is for general educational awareness, not medical advice. Please talk to your doctor before starting any new activity routine, especially if you manage a heart condition, joint problems, or other mobility limitations. If this was helpful, please like the video, share it with someone over 60 who spends a lot of time sitting, and subscribe for more senior health awareness content every week. Take care of yourself. And don't forget to stand up after this video ends.